Welcome to the Sounders FC Scouting Report. I'm Matt Gashk alongside the voice of the Sounders FC, Arlo White. Sounders FC facing the Colorado Rapids Sunday night. It's a 7:30 kickoff from Quest Field. Colorado right now in 4th place in the Western Conference, but just 4 points ahead of the Sounders FC.
Yes, they are, but I think one of the crucial aspects of this game, Matt, is that they haven't won in 5 games. So it's actually a very good time to be playing Colorado at the moment. And if you take the lead against this team, this remarkable statistic over the last 4 years, Colorado, if they concede the first goal, are 0-47 and 16. It's a remarkable statistic, so it's extra incentive for the Sounders to get out the blocks early, get in amongst Colorado, and hopefully get an early goal. I've been watching them quite closely recently. They had a bit of a shift in formation last week in a 1-1 draw against Kansas City. Gary Smith, instead of going with the 4-2-3-1, which is the formation of choice during the recent World Cup finals, both Spain and Holland used this 4-2-3-1 formation. He changed it at half-time. They were 1-0 down against Kansas City. And Omar Cummings, who's been stationed on the right-hand side of that 3 behind Connor Casey, with Mehdi Bellucci in behind the striker in central midfield, he put Cummings alongside Connor Casey to make a conventional 4-4-2, and that could be the way he goes on Sunday night at Quest Field. We'll have to wait and see. But they're a good side. I like watching them play. May the 29th, let's take you back to a 1-0 defeat for the Sounders at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. It was a game that the Sounders were well in at half-time, and then the game was taken away from them in the second half. What I like about this, look at Cummings. He started on the right-hand side. He's gone into a central position here, but Marvell Wynn, who's run a 10.37 100 metres in college, spots that Omar Cummings has gone more central, been drawn into the play, and that's created a huge gap on the right-hand side, and intelligently, and he knows he's got the pace, he's joined the attack. So they're an intelligent team as well. Marvell Wynn is another interesting one, because they've had Julien Bourdet, the Frenchman, out injured with a hamstring. He may return against the Sounders. But Wynn, and Gary Smith has to make this decision as well. Does he play Marvell Wynn at right back, or does he play him in central defence? If he plays at right back, he can provide that sort of threat. They've got good ball players, Matt. Really good ball players. Let's have a look. This is still in the first 5 minutes, look. They play it nicely around the area. Mastroeni, who's an excellent player, former US international. Here's Laurentowicz. He'll start for the MLS All-Stars against Manchester United next week. Here's Bellucci, edge of the area, rolls it in, lovely back flick, and there's Cummings again. And at this point in time, Connor Casey hadn't scored from open play this season. He's spurned a wonderful opportunity there, but in and around the penalty area, you think you've got them backed up and backed against a wall and there's no space, but they seem to be able to create it and find space with some good technicians that they've got, so they have to be watched around the 18-yard box.
You've mentioned his name a couple times already here, Mehdi Bellucci. Talk about how influential he is to that team.
Well, I think he's been influential all season for them, but interestingly, Gary Smith took him off last week when he reverted to the 4-4-2. Young Smith came on, and it was Bellucci that went out. He got the hook at half-time, I think it was, in central midfield. I think his career has been interesting because he came over in a trade from Real Salt Lake, the trade that sent Kyle Beckerman the other way to Salt Lake City. So they've built a championship-winning team around Beckerman, and we're only starting to see now the fruits of the trade from a Colorado perspective with Mehdi Bellucci. Good player. I like what the Sounders did to him, actually, down in this game on May the 29th, because they cut off the supply to him, so he's having to come deep. We saw this an awful lot during the game, him collecting the ball off the centre halves and just sort of being quite deep in the play. But here, what I like about this is as Colorado come forward, he's always in space. Good move as soon as he gets the ball, beats a couple of Sounders then, keeps the momentum of the attack flowing, dictating the tempo here, rolls it into the edge of the area to Casey. But look at him again, Bellucci. He's just drifting around, edge of the area, good awareness of space, creating the space himself, takes a step back there, so he's available again, edge of the penalty area, and that's a lovely ball out to Cummings. He invites Cummings, do you want a shot, do you want to cross it, you decide, but it was good play by Bellucci, who started the attack really from a deep position and almost ended it with an assist to Cummings. So we'll see if he plays. Maybe he's fallen out of favour with this 5-game winless streak, but if he does play, he's a good ball player. The deeper the Sounders can force him to get the ball, the better. But if he does that and continues his runs forward, he has to be tracked.
And you can't talk about the Colorado Rapids without talking about the goal scorer in this game, Connor Casey.
Well, we blew it. Me and you blew it for the Sounders, didn't we? Because we went on and on and on in the scouting report pre the game at Dick's Sporting Goods Park about the fact that Connor Casey hadn't scored from open play. He'd scored some penalty kicks. In fact, at that point, he'd scored 6 consecutive penalty kicks, which was a remarkable statistic. It's a joint MLS record. Wouldn't you know it? He scores in the second half. And Jeff Parker, who's making his Sounders MLS debut, just get slightly out-muscled here. I still think there's a hint of a foul on that goal. But what impresses me about it is that once Conor Casey is forced wide, after that sort of physical battle that he has, typically for Conor Casey, he wins the physical battle by fair means or foul. It's open to interpretation. But it's how he finished that chance. Casey Keller's off his line. Let's have a look again. Look, here's the through ball in from Cummings. If Cummings plays up top, there's an example of how they do play well together. But that chip was absolutely magnificent. It's a player who hadn't scored all season from open play. He hadn't been included at that point in the 23-man or the 30-man Bob Bradley USA squad. He was slightly down on his luck, down on his heels, maybe lacking a bit of confidence, but that is just a sign that, okay, he is a bull, and that's the word that's used to describe Conor Casey, but he's a ballerina as well. You know, he's got finesse, he's got nice feet, much like we say about Nate Jaquer. Forget the fact he's a big guy, these guys can use their feet as well. So Conor Casey obviously has to be watched, and that's going to be a good physical battle with the Sounders centre-halves. Will he have Omar Cummings alongside him? We'll have to wait and see. That's going to be fascinating.
Should be fun to watch he and Patrick Ianni going head-to-head at some point.
Well, they're a pair of bruisers, aren't they? And they'll enjoy the physical battle, so that's going to be really, really good to watch.
It's a 7:30 kickoff from Quest Field. I know you've got 8 o'clock on a lot of your tickets and your calendars out there. 7:30 kickoff. The game will be on Fox Soccer Channel, and you'll be having the game on
News Talk 97.3 Cairo. Yep.
On the FM dial. You'll hear Arlo White. For Arlo White, I'm Matt Gash. This has been your scouting report on SoundersFC.com.